Okay, so there is way more to pressure washing or soft washing a house than just spraying some bleach and some water and getting it looking great. Obviously, that's the reason why we're here. That's the reason why the customer called. But there's a lot more than just restoring the pristine appearance of the property. We need to protect our customers' property. We need to protect our businesses. And we're going to talk about some of the ways to do that. And you might think that it starts when you pull up at the property, but it actually starts before that. It's when they receive the estimate, when they accept the estimate, and then when they schedule their appointment. So I'm going to walk you through the steps that I've taken in my own business to accomplish that. And then we're going to talk about what we need to do to make sure we cover our own asses when we're out there on the job site so we don't get blamed for the stuff that's wrong before we get there. Those pre-existing conditions that we see at almost every property. And then we're going to talk about the things that we can do to make sure that we protect the property and leave it better than when we got there. Let's go. All right, so you pull up, you get your stuff set up, you go to the front door, you knock, the customers are there sometimes. How often are the customers there?
Honestly, it's about 50-50.
Right. And so if they are there, you offer to give them a walkthrough, let them show you any stuff. If they're not there, you just go ahead with Quote IQ and you do your pre-inspection walkthrough, right?
Yes.
Okay. So is that what you're going to do that now?
Yes.
And because this is my house, I'm here, so I'm going to do the walkthrough with you.
Yes, sir.
And so the reason that we're doing my house today is because it's November 2nd, and I've got somebody coming to do Christmas lights, and we need to get this thing looking nice and pretty. It's probably, when was the last? Probably a year?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe about a year and a half.
Yeah, and so we're going to talk about property protection. We're going to cover these. These are nice lights. We got to cover these. Some stuff that we do not want to get wet, and but you can see it's been a while since the house has been done, and I'm a little embarrassed, but it's going to look great. All right, so grab your phone and let's do the pre-inspection.
There we go. Search the client's name. Got that. And we take a property picture first.
So the reason that we're doing this is we take the property picture first, and it goes on the PDF form that we then email to the customer before we start. So it's just that little added touch of, personalization, if you will. Okay. So then everybody's going to have their own process, but what do? You start at one side and just start looking?
Yep, I usually start just at one corner of the house and just walk all the way around. That way I can make sure I look at everything and document everything that I see as I go around.
Perfect. We've been doing these pre-inspection walkthroughs for years because we have run into situations in the past where a customer came to us after we'd left and they said that we caused damage. Whether it was a piece of vinyl that was broken, maybe a lamp that was broken, a torn screen on a window. We didn't document these things back then. It was our word against theirs, and we all know that as a small business owner, you want to do everything that you can to protect the reputation of your business. Because if you're not documenting and somebody accuses you of something, even though you know it's wrong, it was like that before, it looks bad on you. And that's why I put the 28-point inspection in Quote IQ, so we make it super easy. And it also allows you to identify potential issues and pre-existing conditions, and also ensures that you have a comprehensive understanding of the property's condition before you get started. And this knowledge enables you to plan and execute your work more efficiently, reducing the likelihood of unexpected delays, making you more efficient and making you more money. But the most significant aspect of the pre-inspection is liability mitigation. So by assessing the property up front, documenting the existing problems, making it clear that you did not cause them during your work, this protects you from potential disputes, legal issues, as well as bad reviews, bad word of mouth, and losing recurring customers, which are all really bad things for your business. It shows your customers that you care about their property and their satisfaction. It builds trust, it builds credibility, and it shows that you're committed to providing the highest level of service. And that customer experience is so important for your business, gaining share in the market. But one of my favorite parts of this process is it leads to upselling, because when you're out there walking the property, you might see some things that you missed before, you didn't mention to the customer, you didn't try to sell them on, or maybe the customer didn't mention it, they didn't notice it, which can result in increased business and revenue for you. And the pre-inspection walkthrough is essential for identifying issues, working efficiently, mitigating liability, showing customers that you care, and also the upsells, which is why it's standard practice at every single property, residential or commercial, in my business.
You're not going backyard?
No, we're not. And real quick, if you're looking to quit your 9 to 5 or stop depending on other people to tell you how much money you can make or when you can take a break, or maybe you just want a little extra money to do things that you want to do, maybe spoil your family a little bit, not worry about when the next paycheck is or what bill is coming up, this type of business right here could be for you. And we put together a program called How to Wash that goes over absolutely everything that you need to learn in order to hit the ground running, cut the learning curve, and start making money fast. It's a 6-hour program that covers everything from the mixing of chemicals, the application of those chemicals, the equipment needed, and how to do it all, as well as in-depth looks at the processes for every surface on a residential property. There is a link below for that if you are interested. So I kind of jumped ahead, but I want to talk about the steps we take in my business prior to the start of the job. And I'm talking about when we send our customers an estimate and also once they accept and they schedule. This is actually one of the most critical pieces, and it starts with a customer contract that's sent with the estimate. Now, this contract is in place in order to protect both our company and our customers, but primarily the communication aspect, the setting of expectations, which is very important. Our contract was written up by an attorney, and it has all kinds of things in there, everything from talking about the terms of payment, expectations of the customers, things like moving their property out of the way before we show up, and things like removing dog poop from the yard, little things that can impede the process when we get to the property. And the best way that I found to deliver this is by adding it as an attachment in your estimate. We do this in Quote IQ. We just upload a PDF of the contract, and then it's attached to every single estimate that you send. And then when the customer accepts your estimate, they're also agreeing to the terms and conditions of the contract. Now, this is very similar to when you go and you buy a new phone and there's like 15 pages of legal documentation that nobody ever reads, but everybody agrees to. Same thing here. It's there for the protection of everybody involved. The next component is communication after the estimate is accepted and they have scheduled. Whether they self-schedule through InstaQuote powered by Quote IQ or we manually schedule them ourselves, this triggers an email automation which sends multiple emails and texts prior to the appointment, letting the customer know what they can do to prepare. I also include a link that goes to my website with a bunch of information there. This automation also lets them know what time the appointment is, the date, the list of services, and the day before the appointment, they also get a text message and an email reminder. And of course, the date of the appointment, all the other information is included. And then a couple hours before the appointment, they get a text letting them know when someone is going to be to the property. All of these things add up to a very smooth customer experience. And I promise you, none of your competition is doing anything like this. And this is what's going to set you apart and help your business grow. Now, if you agree with me and you think implementing things like this in your own business is going to help, leave the comment down below growth. So the next thing we're going to talk about should be common sense, but far too often I see and I hear of guys that don't take these steps when they're out at their customer's property. And that is just basic property protection. And yeah, we talk about rinsing down the vegetation around the property when we're doing roofs and house washes. But these are things that a lot of people don't do because they think that it's not going to happen to them. Bad things can't happen to them. And it's just simply taking care of your customers' things. Whether it's a garage door remote pad, exterior lights, inspecting exterior outlets, making sure they have seals, making sure that the windows are closed. All of these things, right? The little space between the outlet cover and the surface of the home. Taking a couple extra minutes, getting out the tape, bringing some plastic, and covering the things that need to be covered. Whether it's a stained front door, stained shutter, stained garage doors, these are all things that can and will get damaged when they come in contact with your solution. And that can really hurt your business's reputation and your business's bottom line if you're having to spend a bunch of money fixing things or restaining things. That's not what we want to be doing. That's not where we want to be. And that's why we use common sense and take care of these things. Okay, so there are 3 ways that you can protect your business, increase customer communication, make the customer experience 10 times better than anybody else in your market. And this is going to show your customers they're dealing with a professional business and they're going to keep coming back year after year. So I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Check out How to Wash and check out Quote IQ.